Enter the world, but tread with care. Those roots remember every prayer. Carved from ash, from bone, from flame. The sacred beasts don't play or game. Here change comes, swift on silver wing, with dragonflies that bite and sting. Truth flickers soft and sharp as steel, and every wound must learn to heal. Don't come armed with hollow lore. This world won't let you fake the war. For those who think they understand, you'll bleed the fastest by your hand. So read and ache, be torn apart. These stories rise from broken hearts. With grit and teeth they scream and soar. You've never known a world like this before.
Welcome to Dhampir Sins, Book 1 of the Sacred Beast series by Sarah Yuher. 13 Chocolate Sin. Kage. His butt was numb from sitting on the tile floor of the kitchen for so long. The TV sound was a dull hum in the background as he stared at the counter in front of him. Kage had tried to resist eating the blood candy, but the happy feeling from earlier in Kieran's truck had faded. The candy had brought it back, but it felt pale compared to feeding on Kieran's chocolate honey. The ache between his legs reminded him of the feel of Kieran's hard cock buried deep inside him. It had hurt at first. Guys as large as Kieran always hurt initially, but this time, Kage had to fight against his body to let Kieran inside. It didn't want to open up, but Kage didn't want Kieran in the place others had used. He smiled at the memory, reaching down to rub himself through his sweatpants. Would Kieran do it again when he got home? Kage wanted him to. He got up from the floor and walked to Kieran's room. Lacey's scent permeated the room along with Kieran's, laced with that chocolate scent Kieran's had taken in the truck. Kage growled at the smell. He wanted to eat that chocolate, but something about it made Kage want to be mean to Lacey. He also wanted to eat the chocolate in Kieran's, but until it was all gone and only the honey remained. He didn't care if the chocolate in Lacey's remained. He wandered to the closet Kieran shared with her, sniffing the clothes. The cologne of spiced honey that clung to Kieran's clothes made him smile as Kage buried his face in one of the soft hoodies. He wrinkled his nose at Lacey's chocolate pistachio stench on her clothes. Kage grabbed a pretty, silky blue dress and threw it on the floor. He stared at it for a while, wrinkled and forlorn in the middle of the floor. "You're lonely," he said softly, grabbing another of her dresses and throwing it on the floor with the other. He giggled at the happy feeling it gave him and threw the rest of her clothes on the floor from the closet. He didn't stop there, going around the room and throwing all of Lacey's belongings into a pile on the floor. The bookshelf against the wall drew his attention, and he looked at all the well-worn books. A shiny new one rested on one of the shelves, and he picked it up. Kieran's scent was on the book, and Kage opened it. It was filled with pictures of people fighting and bubbles with words. Kage couldn't read the words well, but the pictures were easy to follow as he sat on the floor and flipped through them. When he was done, he put the book back where he found it, leaving the room and heading to the bathroom. Noises from outside the apartment stopped him. A girl was screaming and crying. Kage's heart began to pound as he listened. He knew those sounds. He had made them before. He had begged people to stop hurting him when he had asked for what they promised if he let them fuck him. Kage hugged himself as he began to shake, his eyes burning as memories bombarded him. He remembered how that man had approached him, smelling of chocolate and offering him 40 mira to suck his dick. Kage had been hungry in more ways than one and agreed. It was hard to breathe as he remembered how the chocolate scent changed like someone had burnt a candy bar in a fire. The feel of the rough bricks against him and the pain as the man fucked him. The aroma of spiced honey filled Kage's senses, calming him. Kieran had come to help him that night. He had made the bad man go away. He had brought Kage here to this place where he was warm, safe, and had food in his belly. He jumped at the sound of a door slamming outside and more yelling and crying. "Press this button in an emergency." Kage pulled out Kieran's phone from the pocket in the hoodie Kieran had put on him earlier. He fumbled for the button, his hands shaking as his heart thudded in his throat. He was at the front door when he finally pressed the button, dropping the phone as he fumbled at the deadbolt. "Let me go," the girl screamed, fear and pain making her voice high and pitiful. Kage opened the door, and all he could smell was burnt chocolate bars. "Let her go, Mine," he screamed at the big human male. He had his hand on her arm and was trying to drag her back into the apartment across the hall. Kage lunged at them, hissing and biting the man's arm that held the girl. Sour blood flowed over Kage's tongue, filled with the pain-numbing dust that had filled Kage's life for so long. Stars burst across his vision as the human slammed him into the wall, pressing his arm farther into Kage's mouth. Kage growled, gripping the arm and trying to push it away from himself, kicking out with his legs. Pain erupted in his middle, and he coughed around the arm in his mouth. The human pulled his arm away from Kage's mouth, and he felt hot blood paint his face and chest a moment before the beating started. He screamed and curled in on himself, covering his face and head with his arms. The sound of the girl's screaming began to fade, and the last thing Kage remembered thinking was, "Kirin will save us."
"13 souls stolen, one rescued from the refuse. A man barely past a boy, raised by bears of blood-soaked oaks. As love grows distant, cotton candy tastes so sweet. Lust and love, what's the difference? The badger jokes and steals, the world sneers and scorns. Blamed for their father's sins, innocent hearts drown in Dhampir sins."